In 2007, a 26-year-old man swallowed 29 pills, one after another. He'd been in a clinical trial for a new antidepressant for 4 weeks. Within 15 minutes, his vision blurred. Blood pressure crashed to 80/40. Heart rate spiked to 110. He collapsed. Neighbors heard the fall. ER, 4 hours of critical intervention. Then the trial coordinator walked in with his file, opened it. 5 words: he's in the placebo group. Sugar pills, no active ingredient. But his body delivered a full overdose response anyway. What the physician told him at enrollment, the description, the authority in the doctor's voice. The study, published in Hospital Psychiatry, concluded the adverse event was triggered by expectation and verbal framing, not pharmacology. When I pulled that thread, I found something that stopped me cold. The word spell comes from Old English spell, meaning speech, story, discourse. The word grammar and grimoire, a magician's spellbook, both from the Latin grammatica. In medieval Europe, the people who could read Latin had access to what looked like magic. They could encode reality in symbols. The etymology isn't poetic. It's a historical record of what people observed language could do. Words don't just describe reality. Under specific conditions, they construct it at a biological level. This is neural architecture, not manifestation. By the end of this video, you'll understand the mechanism well enough to use it deliberately. The filter. Your brain receives 11 million bits of sensory information per second. You consciously process 40, not 40%, 40 bits. Imagine Times Square on New Year's Eve, thousands of people, hundreds of billboards, music, conversations, cold air. That's 11 million bits flooding in. Your conscious experience chooses 40. The gatekeeper, the reticular activating system, the R.A.S. A bundle of nerves in your brainstem, and it's trainable. One of its primary training inputs is the language you use habitually. When you say, "I always mess this up," you're programming the filter. The R.A.S. scans for confirmation. It surfaces moments you stumble, suppresses moments you succeed. Your nervous system is optimizing for prediction accuracy, and you just told it what to predict. A 2023 Nature Neuroscience study by Dr. Megan Peters primed participants before showing images. One group heard, "This will be easy to see." The other, "This will be hard to see." Same images. The easy group showed 34% faster recognition and different R.A.S. patterns on fMRI. Language didn't change the screen. It changed which neural pathways lit up. Behind the R.A.S. is the prediction engine. Carl Friston's predictive coding framework. Your brain isn't a camera. It's generating its best guess about reality, then updating only when surprised. You're experiencing your brain's prediction, written in real time by the language you've been feeding it for years. Right now, you're hearing my voice. You're not processing every syllable. Your brain predicted what I'd say based on sentence structure and filled the gaps. That's why you understand, even if a word gets muffled. Apply that to everything, every interaction, every decision. You're seeing what your prediction model expects, not what's there. When you say, "I'm not good with money," your brain predicts. Decisions will be difficult, opportunities scarce. "I'm mistakes frequent." The R.A.S. filters to match. You notice the expense, miss the tax deduction, the negotiation opportunity, the forgotten subscription. It's all in the 11 million bits, but your filter confirms scarcity. Then the body closes the loop. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett's research. Emotions aren't reactions. They're predictions your brain constructs and your body confirms. When you say, "I'm anxious," you're issuing an instruction. Your brain generates cortisol spike, shallow breathing, elevated heart rate, then feeds that back as evidence the prediction was correct. Language programs filter. Filter surfaces data. Body generates state. State confirms prediction. Loop tightens. If the loop tightens one way, it can tighten the other. You just need the sequence. The pattern. I was reading Neuroscience on predictive coding when I noticed something in the footnotes. References to older psychology, then philosophy. I went deeper, found a pattern that made no sense at first. The Sefer Yetzirah, 2nd to 6th century CE, describes God creating reality fundamentally by the voice through Hebrew letters. Plato's Cratylus, 360 BCE, debates whether words capture essence. The Upanishads encode Tat Tvam Asi, collapsing speaker and spoken. Egyptian Heka, magic of spoken words. Heraclitus's Logos, the word that means word and reason simultaneously. 5 civilizations, 0 contact. Same observation. Reality responds to language. That's not belief. That's pattern recognition across independent data. When the same pattern emerges in 5 systems with different cosmologies, but you're looking at observable phenomenon without a scientific explanation yet. Now it has one. The traps. 3 linguistic patterns that program the filter wrong. Trap 1. I'll try. Yoda's do or do not. There is no try isn't wisdom. It's neurolinguistics. Try pre-encodes failure as acceptable. A 2019 Journal of Experimental Psychology study showed participants instructed to try showed lower prefrontal cortex activation and higher cortisol than those instructed to complete. The word try is a neurological hedge. You say, I'll try to gym at 6 a.m. Your brain passes. I'm predicting I won't. Alarm goes off. Snooze. You don't feel you failed because you only said try. The prediction included the exit. Replace with I'm going to gym at 6 a.m. binary prediction. When the alarm sounds, your nervous system treats it differently. Not motivation. No exit in the prediction. Trap 2. I can't afford it. Scarcity language is self-fulfilling R.A.S programming. Mulenathan and Shafir's scarcity. Why having too little means so much shows scarcity-primed language causes cognitive bandwidth reduction. Your IQ drops. Your R.A.S filters through scarcity, suppressing problem-solving pathways. The reframe isn't I can afford anything. That's delusional. It's I haven't prioritized that or I'm allocating elsewhere. Same bank account, different filter instruction, 2 people, same marriage, same account. Person A, we never have enough. Person B, we're figuring it out. Person A's R.A.S scans for overdraft fees, declined cards. Person B's scans for optimizations, side projects. 6 months later, different financial situations, not manifestation. Different filters surfacing, different data from the same reality. Trap 3. I've always been like this. Past tense identity locks the default mode network. I'm not a morning person. I'm bad with names. When you anchor identity to past patterns, the DMN filters future behavior for narrative consistency. Dr. Brent Hughes's 2022 psychological science research, identity language creates higher resistance to change than action language. Networking event. Someone asks what you do. You say, I'm not a people person. Your DMN heard that. Now it filters behavior to match. You miss the collaborator introduction, not incapability. Identity protective cognition. Your brain prefers consistency over accuracy. Here's why affirmations fail. If you're cortisol dominant and say, I am abundant, your brain flags mismatch. The mismatch creates more stress. Dr. Andrew Huberman's state-dependent learning. Your brain encodes new information only when autonomic state matches context. Fight or flight, plus I am calm. Amygdala rejects it. Calm state first, then new language. Hippocampus encodes as memory. R.A.S encodes as filter update. Same words, different state, different outcome. Ludwig Wittgenstein. The limits of my language mean the limits of my world. Dr. Barrett extends. Limits of language mean limits of experienced biology. Your words construct the prediction model your brain uses to generate experience. The protocol. This isn't affirmations, it's state-dependent encoding. Shift autonomic state first, then introduce plausible language. If you're cortisol dominant saying I am abundant, your brain rejects it. Parasympathetic state first, then I'm building financial stability. Your nervous system encodes it as plausible. Filter opens. Do this now. Say out loud, I am exactly where I need to be to build what I'm building. Notice your chest. That shift? Your vagus nerve responding to prosody and semantic content. Heart rate variability changed. Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory, prosody directly stimulates the vagus nerve. You spoke your way into a state shift. 1 sentence, 15 seconds. Now imagine 90 days of deliberate practice. Step 1. Prediction audit. Every morning, 60 seconds. Identify one habitual prediction phrase. I can't, I always, I never. Rewrite as process statement. I haven't figured this out yet becomes I'm learning this. Removes predictive certainty, opens filter. Step 2. Present tense neural anchoring. Not I want to be confident. Future-oriented. Not I will be successful. Same problem. I am in the process of becoming someone who. Present tense identity. Believable. If your nervous system believes it's plausible, it filters reality to confirm. Step 3. Somatic alignment check. Before high-stakes intentions, check state. Sympathetic activation, cortisol dominant, shallow breathing. Take 90 seconds, box breathing. 4-count cycles, 3 rounds. Shift to parasympathetic. Then speak intention. Same words, different autonomic signature, different encoding. Step 4. Identity declaration. Once weekly write 1 sentence, who you're becoming, not who you want to be. Van der Kolk's The Body Keeps the Score. Identity language in regulated states reshapes somatic memory. Sapolsky's Behave. Language primes biology before events. Structure. I am someone who, then behavior. I follow through. I ask for my worth. I stay curious under pressure. Read daily for 7 days. Let go. Watch what your R.A.S surfaces, not magic, architecture. The shift. 90 days from now, you walk into the same room. Same people, same problems, different room. Not external change. Rewritten prediction engine. The conversation you'd have avoided, you initiate. The opportunity you'd have talked yourself out of, you take. The person who'd have dismissed you, listens. Not confidence or luck. Your nervous system broadcasts different signal. Your R.A.S surfaces different data from the same environment. Your language constructed different experiential reality from the same raw ingredients. That's not bending reality. That's architecting it. Every ancient tradition encoded this. Kabbalists, Vedic philosophers, Egyptian priesthood, Greek Stoics. Words don't just describe, they construct. Every modern neuroscientist studying predictive coding, R.A.S, embodied cognition converges from the other direction. Language is the first layer of reality's architecture. Not because the universe listens, because your brain does. Your brain builds the experiential world from predictions you feed it. Predictions written in words you speak, think, default to when no one's watching. That man who nearly died from sugar pills walked out 3 days later. The moment doctors said the pills were inert, his prediction engine updated. Body stopped generating overdose response. Words that nearly killed him were replaced. Biology followed. If language has that power unconsciously, involuntarily in crisis, what can it do with precision, intent, filter open, prediction engine aligned? You're about to find out.